Hi everyone, and welcome back to Poised for Making. Of course, this is a place where I make it happen and hopefully inspire you to do the same. As you can see, I am back on campus. It's actually midterm season, so that gives you an idea of how long it's been since I uploaded last. But I'm here, I'm going to school, we're halfway through our semester, and this year I'm actually an RA, so that's been quite the roller coaster, but I am not letting that make my knitting go to the wayside. I've got a lot of stuff that I'm working on and that I've finished, so let's get right into it. So my make of the day isn't even really knitting, but it is knitting related. It is this mug that you saw in the intro. There is a place in San Antonio, Texas that my mom and sister and I went to where basically you get an unfinished piece of pottery, you paint it how you want, and then they fire and glaze it for you, and then you pick it up like 3 days later. So I did a mug, and it's supposed to say time to unwind. The unwind got a little jumbled, which was kind of part of my design idea, but maybe not to this extent. So the other side has a ball of yarn, and I wanted it to be like, you know, this string coming out of the ball of yarn. It goes all around the mug, as you can see, down into it, doodly doodly doo, and then it spells out the word unwind in cursive. Turned out a little janky, I can admit that. Even these letters, I used like a stencil sticker kind of thing for, and they're also a little janky if you look close, but you know, I think it gives it a certain charm. I do like how it came out, and you know, I know what it says and it makes me happy, so that's what's important. I do like how it turned out, and it's a big mug, so probably not going to be filling this with coffee, maybe hot tea, we'll see, but it's like very sturdy, and after they fire it and stuff, it is like smooth. You can feel bumps of where the paint is thicker, but I kind of like that. I think it adds to the charm. So, and then I just have my initials and the date on the bottom, and predictable as ever, it is shades of purple on a neutral background, gray again, like pretty typical for me, I gotta say. And that is exactly what my actual finished project is, which is the road trip shawl, shades of purple on a neutral background, but instead of gray, it's cream. I talked about all of this yarn and this pattern a bit more in depth in my previous episode, so I'm not going to go into it too much, but it is done. This is the road trip shawl by Christy, Becker, I think. Really enjoyable pattern. As you see, it is big. It is larger than my wingspan, but it's super soft, and it was a really fun pattern to make. It's asymmetrical, so when you get to the end, it is a lot of stitches, but again, since the texture and the color is always changing, it really helped keep me engaged and keep me excited to finish this pattern. I did the picot bind off edging, and I did it with the pinkish color yarn that I had. I don't remember which color it calls for to do the bind off in officially in the pattern. That didn't make sense. Anyway, I don't think I used the right color, but I like how it turned out. I was kind of thinking, you know, if I'm gonna put in the effort to do a picot edging, I want it to be in a color that's gonna stand out so people actually notice my lovely picots. So that is the road trip shawl. I'm very excited about it. It's soft, it's beautiful, and I'm excited for it to get a little cooler out so I can actually start wearing it. And now I have a hoe. And if you're not familiar, that means a half finished object. I have a hoe. And typically it refers to single socks. So this is the Rose City roller socks that I was working on last time, I think. I have since finished one. I restarted the other one because I've been playing Yarn Chicken and I officially lost, so I kind of had to retool. Basically, I have this green yarn that was a gift. I have no idea the yardage or the fiber content or anything, so I thought, you know, I'll make the socks one at a time, and for the second sock I'll just kind of see how far I can get and go from there. I was hoping I'd be able to do the foot, most of the foot with the green still, and then maybe just have an extra inch of tan before I started the toe, but that did not happen. I got like halfway through, not even halfway through the foot, and I ran out of green yarn. So I will be ripping that out and starting over with a new plan that I think is going to go better. Not going to spoil it for you, but I do have one sock done. I pretty much did the pattern as written. It was kind of a struggle again because I didn't go in with a solid plan because I thought, oh, I'll just be flexible, and that kind of bit me in the butt a little bit. But I think I'm winning. Took a loss on the other sock, but I'm gonna get control again, and eventually I will have a nice pair of socks in this yarn that are Rose City Roller Shorties, and eventually I will win the war. It's not about the battle. This is one battle that I did win, though. I have one sock done. So that is my hoe. And an update on the Estuary project. I did start it, and again, playing more Yarn Chicken and kind of winning, but it's a struggle. So the Estuary cardigan is meant to have two colors. This is one of the front panels. You're meant to have the bottom a solid color and then the top section be a separate color on the front panels, the back panel, and the like tops of the sleeves kind of in a corresponding point upwards, if that makes sense. I'll insert a picture. But again, yardage unknown, going into uncharted territory, doing our best. So I did both of the front panels as written, and then I started working on the back panel, I had to do the back panel first. I don't know. Anyway, here's what happened. I ended up redoing the top section of the back panel to steal some of this dark green yarn. Long story short, I introduced another yarn in between that is completely a different texture and completely a different gauge, so it's kind of roughly, but you know, it's in the back. I'm gonna do some other sections of the sweater with this really fuzzy, bulky weight yarn, so I'm hoping maybe it'll kind of just be a look. I think it kind of fits with like the patchwork vibes that we're gonna end up with, but we'll see. We're gonna call it intentional, you know? So this is the back panel, and like I mentioned, I had to steal some of this dark green yarn to make the two front panels symmetrical with how much green there was, dark green there was, and like lighter bluish green. So yeah, to be honest, I don't even remember what I did because I was working on these like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think, and I think I just kind of blocked it out. So I can't entirely tell you what I did. What I can tell you though is I didn't make any major changes to the pattern itself, just to where it calls for you to switch colors. I kind of played around with that, and I feel like that's not uncommon, and I feel like that's not super important. I mean, it is important to me, but like, I don't know that doing detailed notes on this would help anyone out. I'll just put it that way. So I am now out of the dark green yarn, which means the sleeves are going to be entirely the lighter teal color. This color here on my lovely yarn shelf, which you cannot tell, but it is that lighter teal color. And then I'll be doing the, what's it called? Neckband in this pastel greenish color, and then I want to add pockets on the front, patch pockets, with the bulky kind of marled looking yarn that's in the back panel. So lots of thoughts whizzing around. The short version is I'm done with the front panels and the back panel, and I'm on Sleeve Island, and the colors are not going to look anything like the pattern, but I'm okay with that. I've done some preliminary kind of sketches, I guess you could say, to figure out how I wanted to arrange the colors, and I've tweaked them as I go so that I can kind of have an idea of how it's going to look. But in the end, I think I'm not going to really know until it's done, and I think no matter what, I'm just going to feel like it's good enough, because at this point I have knit and re-knit and moved yarn and done all kinds of stuff to try and make this work, and I'm just tired of it. So to be honest, if I don't like it, I think I'm just gonna suck it up, because I don't want to re-knit pieces of it again, but I think I'm gonna like it. I hope. Yeah. I do have, I don't know if you can see it, I have some of the yarn left from the road trip shawl. Oh, there it is, right there. I think I want to make something with the dark purple yarn, something other than socks. With the dark purple yarn, I want to make the linen top by Samantha Stadler. Is that her last name? I don't remember. I'll put a picture. But I just think it's such a neat top, and I think having it in dark purple would look really nice. And that yarn is store-bought, like big box store-bought. It's from Hobby Lobby. So if I run out, because again, I don't know the yardage, so if I do run out, I can get more of it. And then you might be asking, well, Rachel, don't you need to alternate skeins? I might. We'll see if I decide to be proactive or not. I might just cast it on and get the ball rolling and then worry about dye lots later, to be honest. But we'll see. As usual, thank you for sticking around with me throughout this episode. It is always fun to talk about what I'm making and what I hope to make. It also motivates me to stay on track and keep working on things when I maybe don't feel like it so much. Like I said, it's midterm season and this new job is kind of stressful, but knitting has definitely been a way for me to relax, and I think you can see that in just how much I've been knitting these past few weeks, and you'll get to see a lot of that in the next episode, which I'm very excited about. Anyway, I made an Instagram. I've never had Instagram before. I made an Instagram for this channel for my knitting and my creative adventures, so maybe go check that out if you're interested. I'll put the link down below. And I think that's all I have. Anyway, thank you for joining me again. Let's keep on making it happen, even if it's stressful. Make time to make something. That's my new motto. We're going with it. Yeah, alright. See you around. Bye.